Okay, so I was right. This choice doesn't matter, but there's actually an interesting choice in that there are 3 choices here. We got to choose between those 2 choices, but there was also a 3rd choice of if you don't choose, that ends up being a 3rd choice, which I guess is why he responded to us, not saying anything here, basically.
つまり手の神経を切断した後の回復過程を観察するには薬指を使うのが最も面白い結果が得られそうだということだ。では葵くん、滞りなく実行してくれたまえ。
Aoi-san does as she's told and takes my left hand.
やめてください。
I desperately try to move the fingers on my left hand to somehow escape what I know is coming. However, my resistance is futile, and Aoi-san grasps my left ring finger with her hand. Please, I need that for rings. Aoi-san's hand is dreadfully cold. I can tell that her fingers are shaking slightly. Suddenly, I feel the cold edge of the blade on my finger joint. Oh no, I don't want to see that. No. Oh, don't show me that. I'm so cold. My whole body is trembling. The cold coming off the blade, and Aoi-san's hand is spreading throughout my entire body. Why did things turn out this way? My teeth are chattering, the noise of them clicking together echoing in my head. Even though I'm so cold, sweat is pouring down my forehead. Trying to shut out Reina's desperate pleas and her own feelings, Aoi-san tightly shuts her eyes.
ひろき、ごめんね。
Aoi-san mutters. Just before applying force to the pliers and... Ah, no! Ah, I don't want... No! Stop that! Ah! Oh, no! It is just like Higurashi. I like my fingers, don't do that. Pain blots out any other thoughts. Oh, that's a lot of blood. Yeah, that's a lot of blood down there.
おめでとう、葵くん。君は困難な選択と実行に耐え、理想へと一歩踏み出したのだ。君の友人の指一本を犠牲にして大切な妹が君のもとに帰ってくるのだから安いものだ。
Reina's shouting brings me back to my senses. It feels like fireworks are going off inside my head. My blurry vision gradually grows clearer, and the world goes from pure white to one of color. The feeling in my left hand has long since surpassed pain, and is now nothing more than a burning sensation.
葵さん。
Aoi-san squatting on the ground, her head cradled in her hands. Her hands are shaking tremendously, her eyes unfocused. The pliers are on the floor covered in blood. Oh, yeah, she actually cut my finger off. Aoi-san's no longer able to form words, her voice coming out in garbled sobs.
さすがに刺激が強かったようだね。翔くん、葵くんを別室に案内したまえ。
At Kuroda's command, the researchers half drag Aoi-san to the door. So,
葵さん
can I have that finger back? Aoi-san doesn't respond to the words I'm barely able to rasp out. The researchers then drag her out of the door, and she disappears down the hallway.
さて、気分はどうかね。
Well, I feel like my finger's been cut off. This guy, because of him, Aoi-san, I'd only been able to feel a burning sensation before, but the pain is finally starting to return to my left hand. I want to make him feel this pain. No, I want to make him feel pain even worse than this. I want to make that pitch black man in front of me suffer even worse than I am.
いいぞ、それでいい。まだ君に死なれては困るからな。しかし、やはり完全に切断してしまうとなると、切断部から先は再生しないものか。まあ、予想通りといえば予想通りだな。呼吸と血圧はどうだ？
Kuroda looks at another AR display that's showing a few numbers, nods, and looks back at me.
さて、今の実験で他人を支配する側に立つということの意味が実感してもらえただろう。
Kuroda says, his voice completely devoid of any feeling. He doesn't feel guilty about this one bit.
実験だと拷問の間違いだろう。
それは行うものの目的や思想によって変わる。これは未来を形成するための研究なのだ。
これのどこが？
君にもいつかわかる時が来るだろう。さて、これは命令ではなく心からのお願いなんだ、楠原君。君もこちら側に来てはくれないだろうか。
A request from the bottom of your heart? That's nothing more than a threat, and you know it. You can force me to obey if you want. If I say I've changed my mind, maybe the torture will end here. But that won't change anything, really. Even if I escape this room, all that would remain is becoming Kuroda's pawn, like Sigma, and dying in the end anyway. That's even more humiliating than dying here.
楠原君？
Kuroda asks for an answer, and I simply glare back at him silently. That's the greatest act of defiance I can do right now.
そうか。よろしい。では、このまま続けることにしよう。覚悟してくれよ、楠原君。
I look over at Reina. She's been crying and screaming this whole time. She looks completely exhausted. Tears of despair well up in her eyes.
ひろき、私は
Can you put my finger back on? Maybe it'll heal if it's attached.
目を閉じておけ。
That's all I'm able to force out of my hoarse throat.
ところで、私はずっと疑問に思っていることがあるのだがね。先ほどの君の左薬指だが、あれは明らかに君そのものから分離された。だから君そのものは残りの部分に宿る。これはわかるね。ではもし君を頭の先から左右半分に切断したとして、
But probably
ど
neither
ち
half
ら
because I
が
would be
君
dead.
そのものなのだろうね。どちらに意志が残るのだろう。
Chills run down my spine when I hear Kuroda say that.
体積だけの話をするなら、左薬指を失った左半身が不利のようにも思える。あるいは優位半球が君という存在の主導権を握っているのかもしれないね。君は右利きだったと思うから、優位半球は左大脳半球だ。それとも二人の君そのものが生まれるのかな？
I suddenly imagine them cutting me in half with a chainsaw. I imagine what it would feel like to have my head cut open. Yeah, that sounds pretty awful. How painful it would be to feel myself literally cut in half. And what would happen to me afterwards? What would happen to me afterwards?
理解を超えたものを想像するのは恐ろしいだろう。だが、それは最後にとっておこう。まだやることはあるぞ、楠原くん。さあ、諸君、次の準備だ。
We're gonna cut off your whole hand next and see what happens. The researchers once again start wordlessly preparing another machine. They gather around me and restrain my head this time, the last part of my body to still have any free range of movement at all. Once they're finished with that, I feel them tighten all the other belts restraining my body. My head's been completely restricted. I can't move it left, right, up, or down. I desperately strain my eyes to try to catch a glimpse of what they've done to my head. But no matter how far I move my eyes to the side, I can't see what it is.
すまないが拘束を強くさせてもらった。これから行うのはとてもデリケートな部分の実験なのでね。息苦しいとは思うが。
I really hope we aren't like tortured for this whole entire episode because I'm gonna feel pretty rough if that's all that happens here.
2030年現在、人の脳機能マッピングは完了している。今や脳のどの部分がどのような機能を持っているかは解明されている。だが、その機能を破壊されたとき、人間がどのような状態になるのかは未だ不明な部分も多い。
So we're just gonna stick a stick in there and start poking stuff and find out what happens.
何を理解し、また理解していないのか。その時の感情はいかなるものか。
I hear a high-pitched metallic whirring close to my left ear. It's a sound you often hear at the dentist. Something starts moving on the apparatus they put my head in. My heart feels like it's being squeezed in a vice as terror assails me.
おい、やめろ！
これから脳機能が破壊された後、君がどうなるのか確かめていこうじゃないか。
The madness in Kuroda's eyes makes me tremble in fear. The dreadful whirring noise keeps getting closer and closer. Goosebumps rise on the entire left side of my face, and I tightly clench my right hand.
あまり動かない方がいいぞ。
There's a momentary sensation of a needle stabbing into me, but many times more painful. Ah, no. No, I wasn't prepared for this. Whew. A second later, I feel a hard impact on the left side of my temple.
脳にはブローカヤと呼ばれる言語を司る場所がある。ブロードマンの44や45やとも呼ばれているね。それは君の場合、前頭葉の左側に存在する。まずはそこを壊してみよう。
I like those. Why are you doing that? No. I didn't sign up for this. I feel the pain of my skin being scraped away, along with the feeling of the bones inside my head vibrating. There's a really strong pressure as I feel something shoved deep inside my head from my left temple. I hear Reina screaming from far away. It feels like a ridiculously long amount of time has passed. When I come back to my senses, I realize that high-pitched whir and whatever it was that hit my temple had both vanished. The left side of my temple is bleeding. I can feel the blood running down it through the pain. When I look over at Reina, I'd see that she's trying to squirm towards me, even though both her arms are held by a researcher. Reina, it's dangerous, so stay back, is what I try and say. But...
じっとれない。そこで、あと黒が。
The words don't work too good no more. Is that really what I just said? Just a string of words that lacked any sense of coherency. The moment I try and speak aloud the words I'm thinking in my head, they get all jumbled up.
天地と地間が見られる音韻性錯誤、非流暢性失語といったところか。あとは。
What is Kuroda saying? What's happening to me?
楠原君、私の指を見たまえ。
I have all my fingers. Unlike you. Kuroda raises his right index finger and slowly moves it back and forth. I follow the movement with my eyes.
なるほど。聴覚的理解はまだできるようだね。ちなみに右半身はどうだね。足や手を動かしてみなさい。
After Kuroda says that, I realize for the first time, I have no feeling left in the right side of my body. I tried putting some strength into my right hand, but it doesn't move at all. Why is this happening to me? Someone save me. Reina.
れない。れ。
It's no good. I can't even say Reina's name right.
こんな何の意味があるの。こんな実験に。
I guess the only silver lining is that I can still understand her words.
意味ならあるさ。彼の失われた機能が回復すれば、折笠君の開発したマイクロチップの成果が示されることになるのだからね。君の医療に役立ちたいという思いが成就するんだ。夢のある話じゃないかね。
こんなこと。
昔、ボードレールというフランスの詩人がいた。彼は45歳の時に脳卒中で倒れ、今の君と同じように言葉をうまく話せなくなってしまった。喜び、怒り、悲しみ、すべての感情を表現してきた豊かな語彙を持つ詩人は、皮肉なことに収容された病院で絶望の罵り声を叫んでいたそうだ。楠原君、君がこの状況から回復すれば、そのプロセスを調べることで、その詩人のような人たちだって救えるかもしれない。
ロタ。
さて、次は空間認知の限界に挑もう。
Kuroda raises his hand once again. Yeah, poke him again. I hear that high-pitched whir again. The next moment, a needle stabs into the back of my head. Ugh. Man, we're really going along for the whole ride, aren't we? There's an extreme sense of pressure in the back of my head. The vibration is so strong it feels like it's tearing my skull apart from the inside. I close my eyes and grit my teeth.
心理学の言葉で視空間というものがある。視覚を通して知覚される空間的広がりのことだ。見るというのはただの感覚に過ぎない。遠近、方向、形、奥行きなど 見る対象の各要素をすべて統括して認識するとき、初めて知覚したと言える。では、この各要素を認識する場所が一つでも壊れたら、どうなるのかな？
As the vibration goes stronger, my left hand and left temple start to hurt. All I'm capable of doing is praying for the pain to end. Interesting. We destroyed the area and it don't work too good no more. Huh. Science is fun. Eventually the storm passes, and the high-pitched whirring stops. What is this? When I open my eyes, I start shivering in fear. We got backwards music now. What's going on?
どうかね？君の見ている世界は
The
今
art
どうなっ
style's
てい
changed.
るか
Kuroda,
な？
how'd you do that with just a drill? Just opening my eyes makes me dizzy enough to vomit. Within my warped world, I'm still able to make out Kuroda smiling smugly.
ここまで追い詰めても能力が発揮できないケースもあ
We
るという
poked the brain thing and it don't work too good no more.
それはそれで興味深いがね。
Death. Within my shattered consciousness, there's only one question that remains. What should be more painful at this point? Living or dying? He's stolen my finger, my words, and now even my spatial perception. What will he take next? My consciousness starts to fade. I no longer even feel the pain. I think I'm starting to go crazy. Or maybe I'm already insane. Maybe the very scene in front of me is just my imagination. I hear Kuroda say in a kind voice,
安心したまえ。生命維持能力は保たれるよう細心の注意を払っている。次は
As my consciousness fades away, I hear that whirring start up again. Please, just stop. I don't want to lose anything else. I keep screaming incoherently. Screaming is the only way I have left to assure myself I'm still in this world. But then suddenly my vision goes black. Like a computer that crashed and shut down. I wasn't prepared for it at all. It just happened. Yet another thing has been stolen from me. What's next? How much more do I need to lose before it ends? I just keep screaming. But eventually I stop being able to hear even my own screams.